Good morning. Welcome in for another Friday Safety Focus of the Week. It is July 26th, and this week's code of conduct is to work in an environmental conscientious manner. Ben Dow, you out there?
I am. Can you see me?
Cannot. Oh, there you
Oh,
are. There you
yeah, to be conscientious, pay attention to detail, follow best practices, and I think another good thing to think about is to be committed to taking care of the environment.
Yeah, I agree. Good job this week. Another 7 days from our last recordable. That counts up to 31. Let's keep it up. It's
Good.
going to be a beautiful day today. Let's work safe. Let's work together as a unified team. We did have a first aid injury this week, very, very minor. We'll talk more about kind of root cause of that in the upcoming safety meeting. And then it's been 2 days from our last vehicle incidents. As last week, we really started to add this as we're seeing a major uptick in auto this year. So big emphasis, and hopefully let's focus in on our driving behaviors and really controlling our environment. A lot what Tom said last week, controlling our environment so we have that buffer space. If something does go wrong, we have time before a collision or a crash happens. A lot of it is everybody's driving way too close, parking things way too close to one another. Is one of the big root cause that we see.
And
I'll
Matt,
throw it out there. And, oh,
we're also we're getting calls this week. We've got several calls this week from some complaints on our driving. So we got the logo on, so they know who to call, and so that just tells me that we're getting busy and there's a lot of stuff going on, but slow down and be aware that we're everybody's always watching, and
oh yeah,
um and they do let us know, which is a good thing.
yeah, yeah. Any safety shout outs this week? I didn't. Um, I was kind of playing catch up because I had a family issue this week. But anyone have anything that they want to share? Kind of open the room up. Things they saw safety wise out there. Okay. With that said, we'll go into our topic this week is lockout tagout is how to control potential energy. So there is an OSHA regulation, a standard on this. It's 29 CFR 1910, which is the general industry standard, but it does cross over to construction, and that is dot 417 for everybody taking notes at home. So the purpose of the standard is to establish requirements for lockout tagout of energy isolating devices. So what we kind of typically see at engineers construction is electricity, and for the most part, we're not certified electricians, so we're not really doing any lockout tagout of a circuit per se, but we are around it in our substations quite a bit, especially the one up in Highgate that we're doing some concrete work at now. So we just kind of we're affected, so we just need to be notified and known, and that's all part of that tailboard that we get on those jobs. Where we really see the lockout tag and where we really need to utilize it most is with our de-energizing of our machines and equipment, kind of more of our maintenance side of things, or if we're having issues with any tools, machines, anything that we have to conduct our work. And then there's all these other scenarios that we have, and a lot of it's spring loaded things or gravity if you're undermining duct banks or digging really close to a foundation. There's all that kind of potential energy. So um, for the purpose of this training, though, we're going to kind of focusing mostly on the de-energizing of machines or equipment, kind of the best practices. So the biggest thing that we need to do is really is like with everything with safety, it's communication, 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 once you're aware of the situation. So awareness first and then communication. So prepare for the shutdown, notify all the affected employees, let everybody know what's going on, that this piece of equipment or this tool is defective, it's not working properly. So then let's shut down the machine or equipment by disconnecting its energy source. Sometimes it's simple as taking the keys out, removing it, and putting this caution out of service tag out there. Because we want to make sure that disconnecting the energy isolating devices, it's physically located and placed in the off position to disconnect from its energy source. It's the biggest thing. It can't move while someone's underneath it, around it. It can't shift move, and someone could get pinched, struck, caught in between all those hazards that applied to being locked out, tag out regarding hydraulics, energy from rolling, moving, shifting. Um, Tom and myself, we purchased more of these caution out of service, do not move tags. We're going to not only have them here at the shop, but we're also going to have all the foremans have them. So if there is an issue on a piece of equipment on a job site, we could tag it out, or the foremans can tag it out before the mechanics even get there. So there is no, everybody is aware and has that proper awareness not to jump in a defective piece of equipment. So that's something new that we're adding to our kind of lockout tagout program. So you'll be seeing that. Some of you already might be having these. If you haven't got one by probably next Friday, please let us know and we'll order more or get you the proper tag out there in the field. So then we have just as that other potential energy sources, and that's one of the big ones that we have on the JHA every day, just as you're surveilling and looking at your job sites of what could potentially go wrong regarding potential energy. We have some basics on the JHA that we kind of preloaded that you can select. If there is any additional ones that you guys want to see us have on our JHA, please let us know. It's an easy update that we could do. But again, we just want to make sure that we're paying attention to these potential hazards, because these are the ones that can really hurt somebody pretty bad. So we got to be kind of putting that high priority on our awareness on our job sites, so we can, because a lot of times we might have to get an engineer involved regarding if it's holding up a duct bank or digging deep next to a foundation or something like that. So we're covered in a really bad situation. That's really all I have. Is just kind of raising the awareness and making sure that we're tagging things out, and everybody knows that we're not utilizing defective equipment and who the effective employees are. Anything to add?
Yeah, if you see us this coming week, just make sure to, and we don't give you a flag, just make sure to remind us. So.
Thanks,
Also,
Tom.
I think of the doing the load test, anchor load test. A lot of potential energy built up when we pull on anything with a jack, especially when you bring it to very high loads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Take over the screen here.
You're welcome. Sounds good.
The window. That should be it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see you zooming in to 150.
All right. Oh, and you can see me zooming in. Good. All right. So for this week's announcement, it's pretty much the same as last week. Morgan Stanley will be at ECI on the 2nd. So that's next Friday. And half-hour meetings are available from 8 a.m. to 11:30 for employees to discuss their 401k account. Contact Melanie. And I have the social media contact links here. And we have some new employees, actually the returnees, rehires. This is Paul Knowles, the Civil Group, and Jarrell Stewart with Heavy Civil this time around. Welcome, guys. And we're going to jump right into the project of the week. And we have Ed. Ed, do you want to drive or you want me to just scroll down as we go?
Oh, I'll let you scroll down, Ken.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. All right. Good morning, everybody. Before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to the crew that's here and has been here since the very beginning. Marcos Carter, Landon Underwood, Dan LeDuc, Mike Ronaldo, Chris Potvin, Alan Nutting, and all the truck drivers that have serviced the project. Those guys have done a great job on this project, and we don't have a long ways to go, and we're seeing daylight. So it's good. So we were contracted with PC Construction as the site contractor for the District 8 garage facility in March of this spring. Our scope of work included cuts and fills, underground utilities, structural excavation and backfill, site concrete, and paving. So the project is actually 3 structures. It's a new garage, salt shed, and office facility. The garage is a 12-bay, 16,000 360 square feet. The covered salt shed is 8,320 square feet, and the office facility is 3,000 square feet. It's located actually in Swanton, but they're calling it the St. Albans garage. It's right on Highgate Road, just north of the Handy car dealership, if you guys know where that is. So kind of like north of I-89, right off of exit 20, I believe, 19 or 20, not positive. So ECI, within our scope of work, we had 4 disciplines that ECI performs involved in the job. And that was our civil division, our concrete division, our directional drilling division, as well as the paving. The directional drill crew actually provided and installed 2,000 lineal feet of 8-inch dips SDR 11 water main. The paving division is going to, well, they've done some fine grading, but essentially over 100,000 square feet of fine grading and 4,000 tons of pavement. And there's actually we've done some paving, but the majority of it is scheduled for August. And the concrete division had a dumpster pad, a couple of generator pads, and we do have some curb and sidewalk that's going around the office facility, which is the next up on the list to complete. Obviously, the civil scope was the largest part of the project. We had to bring in 30,000 yards of gravel and stone for the parking lots and the entry road. The civil group, on top of what the directional drilling crew did, the civil group installed another 2,400 feet of C900 water main and 80 feet of 6-inch C900 for the fire suppression line going into the garage. There's also 5 drainage structures and 400 feet of 15, 18-inch drainage pipe, 800 feet of 2-inch SDR 21 sewer forced main with an above ground leach field, a little sewer pump station and septic tank, and excavation and backfill of 4,000 feet of power and lighting conduit with 4 transformer vaults, 7 light pole bases. A few things that I didn't include in this. There's also a couple of large wetland ponds that we've built, and actually probably the toughest part of the whole project was starting in May. And on top of our contract, we ended up having to build huge amounts of temporary road just to get to the site and get concrete trucks in here. And that was, well over $150,000 worth of work just to get to the site. So early on, it was quite a muddy mess. But the guys that were here did a great job in dealing with it, and PC was super helpful to make that work. We work closely with PC and their superintendent, Jody Atkins, who is Roger's brother, as well as Harrison Concrete, White Electric, and Thomas Mechanical to achieve a successful project. Like I said, we're starting to see the daylight. The water main is all past pressure testing, and the base paving for the road and parking area is scheduled for the middle of August. And we're hoping and anticipating completion the first week of September. So we'll go through a few photos here. Here's the drill crew doing the drilling along Route 207, Highgate Road. You can see there is still a little snow in the background. Here we are again.
Must be good long shots looking at changing out tracks here still.
Yeah, the first shot they did like 1,000 foot, and then the second one as well. The second one included a 12-inch sleeve, 200-foot sleeve that they had to install first, and then get the 8-inch water main through that sleeve. So it took a little extra effort to make that happen, but they did a good job in getting it done. So
Yep, good.
Here we are again.
It's a rock reamer.
All right, yeah, we're right down there on the off ramp off of
Right.
89.
Yeah, that's where Tractor Supply would be, across the road next to that building you see, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. Out past that white pickup.
Yep.
Here we are pulling the 8-inch back through. They actually strung it out along the off ramp, the 1,000 feet, and they're pulling back. I guess it would kind of be north on 207 for the first 1,000-foot shop.
Yeah, it looks like they had to do a fusion, so they pulled back in segments and
Yep.
fused as it went. Yep. You couldn't run this right up the interstate?
we tried to stay out of sight of everybody, Ken. We were trying to be low profile here.
Yeah.
This is actually just I don't know, a month or so ago, after the directional drilling was in. We had to make a few connections, add in a fire hydrant that the town had asked for. Well, actually, they didn't ask for it. They moved it, but so our civil crew went in and cut into the directional drill pipe and added in the gate valve and the hydrant valve. This one's actually right down across the road from Tractor Supply on the Handy dealership side of the road. And here's the site early on. We started with the this is actually the garage, 12-bay garage. The boys had already they didn't specify stone under the footings, but they wanted it, so we had to add that in with some fabric. And yeah, so we're prepping. You can see Harrison has started forming behind us. Here we are pouring duct bank. Anywhere as we crossed a road, we had to encase it concrete, and this is actually the stretch that goes from the site out to Route 207. So pretty lengthy. It's like close to a 2,000-foot stretch out through that cornfield, and you kind of see the LOD there. The new road actually goes up through the middle of that cornfield. So, and you can see on the right-hand side of the excavator, that's an actual town highway 37 that's essentially used by farmers for the most part. And but it was used as the access for this site. And you can see just ahead of the track truck where we added a bunch of 5-inch rock just to get concrete, basically, actually to get pickups through there when we started the work. So it was quite an effort to get everybody going.
Especially early in the year when it's always wet and soft, right?
Yeah, when we first took this project on, the idea was it was going to be some nice spring work for us, because we were intending on just going and putting in the water main out through the cornfield and along 207 and into the site. And but PC, like most GCs, they want the concrete in the ground first, and so, which was fine by us. And they helped us and took care of us to build a temporary road to get concrete trucks in. So we spent the first 4 or 5 weeks doing that. Here's one of the transformer vaults, which is actually at the garage, 12-bay garage site. And I think right here we're actually building it is the new driveway into the garage off of what will be the eventually paved road, but it's a couple feet of mud right now to the right.
Right, to the left, it looks like it must be parking lot, right?
Yeah, to the left is, yeah, that's the driveway to the back to the parking lot for the garage. Yeah. we are with some more actually site lighting conduit across the parking lot. We just got done installing the septic tank and the little pump station. And this looks like a dry day sometime in this past spring, which the soils here are really conducive to making a lot of snot when you get just a little bit of rain. So it's
They don't seem conducive to a leach field.
well, it's an above grade leach field bound system. So
Right. Yep.
yeah.
I like this just verifying our pitch.
Verifying our pitch. There's the plumber's cast, and that was another thing. Like, this is the typical like architectural mechanical stuff that they just boilerplate in stuff, and so all of the under slab sewer piping is cast iron, which is kind of outdated. But so yeah, here's the sewer line coming out of the garage and our connection to it. Then we had to run across the parking lot with our SDR 35 over to the septic tank, which is one single septic tank, which is going to serve the garage as well as the office facility. And that was Wayne's idea there, Rustin, with the concrete around that gravity sewer, just for protection, because we had to do a lot of work around there.
The big site, so imagine
Yeah.
that side by side came in handy.
Yeah. Marcos likes that side by side. He does a lot of traveling with it, but it has been to lug our stuff around because especially in the spring, there was a lot of times where you couldn't even get a pickup to where we had to get to. So the side by side was handy. There's Ethan Bartlett with the Rover before he got done. Should have mentioned him because he was a part of this project as well. But Alan Nutting and Marcos there on the tailgate of the Ranger.
You should have done the photo archives of the Gator circa 2008.
Here's Marcos and Landon putting in under drain, foundation drain around the garage footing.
It's 4-inch. Looks small, whatever it is.
It is. It's 4-inch.
Yep, it looks small. Because I guess everything else is larger.
Large, right?
Yep. A lot of roof trusses there.
Yeah, that's the salt shed, which is here's the salt shed. We're putting the gravel in, and I don't think we have a picture of it, but this is actually all paved now. The pavers were here last week and got it fine graded on the interior and got it all paved. There's 2 bays, and then there's this brine mixing shed as well that is attached to this building, which needed to be paved on the inside as well. So the pavers have been here once, and they got the base and the top in, so inside of this building. So, and it looks great. So that was a good job. We are installing the vertical insulation on the outside of the garage foundation. You can see this is just a few of the bollards that went in, but there's probably 4 overhead doors that we're looking at to the left, but there's 8 more behind it. So yeah, it's a pretty long building. I think it's 250 feet long or so and 85 feet wide. It's it's all there.
Wow, nice shop. That's what we need. Need a shop like that, right?
Oh boy. Mr. Wells would like this.
Mhm.
Here we are box cutting the existing road, the existing town highway coming out of the garage site, and it's a reconstruction. So we're chasing it, that you can't see in the picture, but we're chasing it with the dense grade. That's you can't see him, but that's Chris Potvin in the 380 there. And here's the backside of that. Dan Ledoux running the bulldozer, the 550, and we're a couple guys rolling out fabric. Mike checking with the rover, keeping us at the right width.
Yeah, that's what we got. Well, thanks, Ed. That's a pretty cool project, pretty intense with the 30,000 yards and working in kind of slimy conditions for a lot of the year. So
Yeah.
far, it's still wet. It hasn't even dried out this year yet, right?
Not really. No, it hasn't. Yeah, we had a little rain last night, so you walk around now, and if you're not on the parking lot, you're gonna get a solid inch or two of mud stuck to the bottom of your boots.
Yep. So this is St. Albans too, but it's out in the lake on Burton Island back in 2005. It looks like electrical conduit we're putting together there. And that's in the little bay where the main office is. If you've never been to Burton State Park, it's a great place to visit this time of year. So that's all we got. I'll turn it back over to the safety department. And thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ed. You watch it in a group setting, please send over attendance so we can capture this week's safety attendance for the meeting. Going to be a beautiful day. It's a great day to work safe. Let's have a safe, productive, unified day. Have a great one out there.
See you
Thanks, Matt.
guys.